Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. Back here in the Crystal Tower with Alphinaud and Alice finally. And the Crystal Exarch.
And so you return. Have you gained a better understanding of the crisis now faced by the First?
I think so.
Better is not the word I would use. Some lands may have been spared the flood, but the survivors live only to suffer. There seems no end to the horrors inflicted by the Sin Eaters.
Indeed. Those abominations are a calamity in their own right. And I can well imagine how hopeless the task of eradicating them must seem to you. But after countless battles and untold sacrifice, we have identified a potential weakness. Sin Eaters are drawn to serve the strongest of their kind, a class of creature we call Lightwardens. And from what we have been able to ascertain, only a handful of these entities exist.
Okay.
Just as an ant colony will perish in the absence of its queen, we believe that the death of a Lightwarden will cause the lesser creatures within its sphere of influence to disperse.
I have a feeling Yulmul might have something to say about any concerted action we take against these monsters. Vorthra's command over the Sin Eaters is integral to Yulmoran society. In seeming to guarantee his people's safety, it guarantees their obedience. He will not take kindly to us depriving him of such useful allies.
Agreed. Thus we will need to occupy or otherwise divert his forces whilst we proceed with the business of eliminating the Wardens. Until we have done so, all other considerations must be set aside if we are to forestall the 8th Umbral Calamity.
I'm not sure I follow.
Your uncertainty is understandable given the circumstances. Perhaps a more detailed explanation is in order. To begin at the beginning, then. In the ancient past, a single star was divided into 14 worlds. This is the source, your home. These others are the 13 shards, in whose number we find the first. Though physically separate, they retain a connection to each other, and with the source especially. Now, let us assume that a given element in one of the shards attains abnormal ascendancy. Just as water will flow from the highest point to the lowest, the excess energy will begin trickling into the source. And such an influx of ether will of course exert a palpable influence. If the element in question were fire, then drought and wildfires might ensue. If it were ice, one might expect the weather to turn bitterly cold. As ether continues to pour in, such phenomena will become more and more extreme, until eventually, a single, untimely event triggers a disaster which cracks the barrier dividing the two worlds. What was once a trickle now becomes a deluge, sweeping the shard along to be rejoined with the source. At the same time, the element which held sway in the shard is unleashed in full, its energies amplifying the original disaster to truly catastrophic proportions. An earthquake thus magnified might strike with enough force to shatter continents. A tidal wave might swell to a size capable of drowning entire nations.
The 5th and 6th Umbral Calamity.
These devastating events are what we refer to as umbral calamities. 7 times has a calamity befallen the source. 7 times has a shard been absorbed. At present, the light-drowned realm of the First stands perilously close to meeting the conditions for a rejoining. It is the Sin Eaters who are to blame for the Light's continued dominance. In addition to attracting their lesser kin, the Lightwardens I mentioned earlier radiate ether, saturating every corner of their territory with light. Even here in the flood-spared region of Norvrant, their influence is strong enough to banish night from the sky. Thus, if we are to restore balance to the First and head off a potential calamity, it is imperative that we put each and every Lightwarden to the sword.
All right.
We've been doing our best to take the fight to the enemy ever since we first heard the Exarch's explanation.
Though we have yet to claim any meaningful victories if truth be told. Apart from being confoundingly elusive, the Lightwardens possess a troublesome quality which compelled us to delay our plans until such time as you arrived.
Forgive the interruption, my lord, but Holminster Switch is requesting reinforcements. They say the Sin Eaters are attacking in force, and the village could soon be overrun.
Alert the guard. We should be prepared in case the fighting reaches the Crystarium. You have command of our forces in the field, Captain, but hold off on entering the town until I arrive. That goes for Alphino and Alize as well.
My lord.
Pray, lend us your strength. Such a fight will provide you with far greater insight than any explanation I could offer.
Holminster switches to the north of Lakeland, so we had best make haste with our preparations. In fact, meet me outside the Crystarium at the crossroads northwest of a sensor gate, and I shall lead you there myself. Okay. I believe it's the first time we're in Lakeland since we, well, entered the Crystarium. And now, because we're no longer in a cutscene area, we can actually move. Boah, brightness. All set? If We follow this road north. We arrive at the northern staging point. The village itself lies not far beyond. Quickly now. This place has an Aetheryte according to the map. Gemstone trail. Now I noticed gemstones, you get them for fates. Welcome, traveler. I'm an authorized trader representing the crystalline mean in the acquisition of bicolor gemstones. If you find yourself in possession of any such gems, I can offer you a number of items provided by facets in exchange. Completing local fates will allow for the delivery of more valuable goods, increasing the number of items available. Okay. Nothing special yet. Okay, let's go on. You're here. We are heading in together, yes? The exarch asked us to wait, and so we waited. Your assistance is appreciated. Holminster switches past these gates and through the woods. It is not exactly a near neighbor to the Crystarium, but as we occupy the same region, we have built up something of a cooperative relationship. What can we expect inside, Captain? The town is beset by a swarm unlike any we've seen in recent years. We did our best to evacuate the villages, but as many as half remain. Judging by the number of Eater's persons, we have good reason to believe that a Lightwarden leads the attack. How convenient. It seems we have our chance to slay a warden sooner than we expected. One does not simply slay a warden. Has no one told you what happens if you defeat one of those fiends? They hold more light inside them than all of their underlings put together. It can be struck down, aye, but its essence won't dissipate like the weaker kind. Vile aether will bellow outwards and envelop the nearest living being. A reckless young swordswoman, perhaps, and turn her into a brand new warden. Ah, well, you can leave that particular quandary to us. I must ask that the guards stand down and allow us to engage this leader of Eaters alone. Concentrate on the survivors. We must save every life we can. But what if... Understood, my lord. As captain of the guard, however, I will not watch you brave such danger without an escort from our ranks. I insist that I go with you. Very well. Then our warden-slaying party shall include myself, wherever yours, Captain Lina, and last but not least, me. A formidable group indeed. Into Holminster we go. Once we reach the Lightwarden, do not hold back. We strike to kill. With that we unlock Holminster Switch. The instance dungeons encountered in Shadowbringers main scenario quest can be completed solo alongside a supporting party of NPCs. To make use of this feature, simply speak with one of your NPC companions near the entrance and select the option to form a party. When forming a party, we will need to follow the same rule restrictions imposed when using the Duty Finder. Alternatively, you can find party members via the Duty Finder as usual and complete the instance with fellow players instead. Now, one thing I heard is that the NPC party has some dialogue. I can't help but wonder if the scale of this rate is related to the recruiting the Eaters were doing in Armoring. Not that it matters. After all the combat I saw there, I'm more than ready to test my magic against one of those greater abominations. As you may have deduced, the troublesome quality of the wardens which I endeavored to raise earlier was the confounded capacity for spontaneous rebirth. But the Exarch seems confident he has matters in hand, so I shall trust that we may slay our foe without fear of the etheric aftermath. My restorative spells are at your disposal. Destroy a Lightwarden for good. If it's possible now, then why not before? Whatever the Exarch believes, I will force a retreat if I deem it necessary. I did not become captain of a guard by being meek or weak. Command of this sortie is yours. Though I'm not as spry as I once was, I hope my long years of experience will serve you in some capacity. I can wield spells to heal or harm, or even fashion an arcane shield and sword should we have need of a defensive wall. Simply say the word.
Very well.
Let's give it our all! Let's give it our all! Leave this to me!
So I can either take Lina as a dancer or Alice as a red mage. And we...
Very well.
My strength is yours.
Leave this to me!
Since I'm already a red mage myself, I take Lina. Remember these feathered eggs from Alice's part? The people they got?
So be it.
They swell the ranks of wild beasts.
For the Crystarium!
Look, we're even evading attacks. Makes us smarter than the NPC party we had from the Grand Company. But I haven't shown that party off, I believe. Except... maybe that it exists. Because it's really not fun to do dungeons with that party. Two bears.
So be it. So be it.
So far, so simple. Just mobs. And where is... Forgiven Dissonance. Ready yourself. This is no lesser spawn. XIV, go ahead. Compliments, boss cleaner. Oh, hit me. All my trust, it seems. So, someone help! Ah! Futile, all you do is in vain. Stay hard. There may be others we can save. Aye, we do our eaters to us. Next up. all the cocons here. Probably everything was livestock. Or worse, people. Seems confused. It must be newly turned. Tesleen. Oh god.
For the Crystarium!
A shame I don't have Alize with me right now. It'd be interesting to know what she says to this. 3, 4, 1? I'm not certain. Ah! Order. Is there a trick to it?
Leave the healing to me.
Whoops. What for holy? Where are you running, people? I guess that was the AI killing me. Okay. If I have a target, run to the middle because AI.
Leave the healing to me. Thaliak, protect me!
No, please, get away! Shit.
So be it.
The manhouse just ahead. This is the source of a suffocating ether. What's happening? Panic. Lightwarden Filia. This is the true scourge of Lakeland. Now come, Exarch. Pull it. Fine, fine, I do it. Scavenger's daughter? Distance marker. Got that. Got someone please?
Are you hurt?
Yeah, I know.
Leave appealing to me.
No, too slow.
Don't say I didn't warn you!
And Alize comes after, because four-man party.
It's releasing its ether! Fall back! We cannot let it touch us! Quickly, my lord, we must withdraw!
That will not be necessary, Captain. Though I appreciate your concern. The eternal light of these creatures has confounded us for nigh on 100 years. For each we have put down, another has risen up in its place, born of the self-same ether relinquished by its predecessor. But now we have a way to contain that corruption. The blessing of light, and the hero who wields it now stands before you. Behold! The monster's power is broken, and the world twisted by its touch returns to its rightful form.
Yeah, this is a big deal. The first night in 100 years.
Sky.
It can't be.
What's happening?
It's so beautiful.
The sunless sea. The warrior of darkness has come.
Is that what I think it is?
The night sky. As it should be.
Who are you people? You killed a warden, then bathed in its ether as if it were a spring shower, and now the sky? The legends are true. My lord?
How many years have I waited for this moment? For the one possessed of her blessing. For you. You have vanquished the Lightwarden of Lakeland, and for the first time in a century, darkness has returned to the mantle of night. Without the ever-present light to sustain them, the Sin Eaters will have no choice but to retreat. Yet our victory is far from complete. Though darkness has fallen here, the other wardens yet bask beneath burning skies, feasting upon what little life remains. Even should it cost me all I have, I would see each and every one of them slain, that this world might be spared from oblivion. Not only for the first, but for the source as well. Save one, and we save the other. But, be that as it may, I concede it was wrong of me to summon you to this fight against your will. I swear, on my life, I will one day atone for that deed, but for the present, I beg you stay and see this fight to its conclusion. Cast down the Wardens, and restore darkness to the first.
Sounds like a glorious adventure.
On behalf of the first, I offer you my deepest thanks.
I understand there is much at stake here, Exarch, but why do you risk yourself so readily? It must have been a dangerous drain on your ether to summon even one person across the rift.
I do it for my people, of course. To give the Crystarium the tomorrow it deserves.
That is true now, yes, but the city had yet to be built when you first called forth the Crystal Tower. I'm simply curious to know what prompted you to commit yourself so completely to this particular course.
There are things which we can ill afford to lose. And I sensed from the first that I had a part to play in preserving them. Forgive me. I fear the events of the day may have taken their toll. Despite appearances, I am an old man. One burdened with many difficult memories, some too painful to recall.
Well then, I'm sorry for pressing you. It's a family failing, I'm afraid.
One which has served us well more often than not. Needless to say, we will continue to fight at your side until the last Sin Eater is defeated.
Come then, my warriors of darkness. Let us gather the surviving villagers and make our way back to the Crystarium.
It's as if the sky itself had disappeared into the heavens. If I didn't have Wounded to tend to, I'd never stop staring. It's over, yes? I might need a moment. Without that constant glare, Lakeland seems an entirely different place. How quick you have justified my faith in you. So many lives saved and the sky itself heralds your success. A single victory in a larger struggle perhaps, but a momentous one nonetheless. Trust parties unlocked. You can enlist NPC companions to visit completed instances by open trust interface located under duty. Okay, but I end the episode here. This went far longer than I like. Until next time, when we play more Final Fantasy XIV, I'm Mace, and don't get lost.